So I found out who's behind the bots on Roblox, and I'm happy to say I've contacted the FBI, and the FBI is en route to raid their warehouse literally as we speak. I wish. But I did find out who's behind the bots. We're about to expose the entire Roblox botting operation. Let's get into it. So since the last video on the topic of Roblox bots, I actually had a bunch of people reach out to me in emails, in DMs. I'm talking bot managers, bot owners, even Roblox employees. And not only have I found out how these Roblox bots are being ran, but I also found out who. Looking at this guy right here, Ray, yeah, this guy right here is one of the bot owners. He owns a lot of bots. Now, before we dive too much into this, I do want to give a huge shout out to Sharkblocks. Both him and I have kind of been like tag teaming this. He'll find out a bunch of information. I'll report on it. I'll find out a bunch of information. He'll report on it. So we've kind of been working together in a sense. So huge shout out to Sharkblocks. Now, real quick, let me give you a quick recap, literally 60-second recap on the Roblox bot situation. So over the past few months, if you go to any of the Roblox games on the front page and you go to their server list, you're going to find a bunch of servers that look like this right here, or this right here, a bunch of bacon hairs or new accounts all in one server, and these are bots. Now, thanks to J&E, because here's what the bots look like in-game. This is MM2. They fly under the map, collect coins, walk through walls, exploit. It's crazy. And then there are some games like Pet Simulator 99 that have the problem way, way worse. If we take a look at the server list for Pet Simulator, literally almost every server is just bots. Literally, you can spend hours.
Sino ba ang batang may laban?
Google Doodles. At this point, I have no idea where to begin. After my previous two videos about the Google Doodle games, animations, universe, and most importantly, lore, I thought the part 2 would be the last video I make covering them. After the Halloween 2023 doodle that came out shortly after my original Google Doodle lore video, most people didn't have a lot of hope for what the next game would be. As the months passed by and I released part 2 of the Google Doodle lore, we got a few notable doodles such as Celebrating Popcorn and Rise of the Half Moon, both of which are pretty fun games. Celebrating Popcorn is a last to survive multiplayer game where we control a piece of popcorn trying to avoid getting popped, and Rise of the Half Moon is a single player game where we try to combine moon phase cards to score points and beat the moon. With 2 excellent game doodles coming out in the weeks before Halloween, I wasn't sure if this trend would continue, but lo and behold, on October 25th, 2024, the Halloween 2024 doodle was officially announced, and it turned out to be Magic Cat Academy 3. With no shortage of lore, this next installment of the Magic Cat Academy series has some of the most connections that we've seen so far, and opens up plenty of new doors for future possibilities. If you haven't seen the previous episodes of the Google Doodle lore yet, I would highly recommend watching them so that this story makes sense. So, without further ado, let's dive into part 3 of the Google Doodle lore for Halloween 2024. Like I mentioned before, I truly had no idea what the Halloween 2024 doodle might be. If we followed the pattern of previous Magic Cat Academy games, which were released in 2016 and 2020, we were due for another instance in the 4-year cycle. However, I wasn't sure if this would happen since Juliana Chen, one of the main creators for the original game, has not officially worked with Google for several years and was only temporarily brought back in 2020 for Magic Cat Academy Part 2. So I was delighted to be proven wrong on October 25th, 2024, when the official Google Doodle Twitter account made this following post. From Wizard School to the depths of the ocean, Momo and Marshmallow go way back. The next chapter of their rivalry drops this Halloween. Can you guess the location? The accompanying graphics interchange format image features a simple animation of Momo practicing with a punching bag of the boss ghost, running on a treadmill with a picture of the ghost on the wall, and bench pressing with the calendar circled for Halloween 2024. However, the biggest piece of lore that we get out of this tweet is definitely the casual mention of the boss ghost's name, Marshmallow. Looking back, it's funny that the villain who we've been fighting for the better part of a decade with Momo was named Marshmallow the whole time, something that's notoriously sweet and soft. We'll get back to this more later. Now let's talk about the actual game. Just like in Magic Cat Academy 2, we start right back off immediately where the previous game ended. Momo and Sugar are being celebrated by their classmates when, all of a sudden, Marshmallow, who was launched out of a volcano and into space at the end of Magic Cat Academy 2, finds a mysteriously glowing purple star floating in the middle of space. He eats it, and immediately it seems like the cycle has started all over again. However, this time Momo gets some additional help from her friends, who all pitch in together to create a broomstick that she could use to fight Marshmallow. I definitely wish we'd seen more of her friends in this game, but what we get of them includes some pretty nice animations, so I'm okay with it. Momo flies into space on a broomstick for the second time in the series, and the game begins again. Like all the other previous Magic Cat Academy games, Magic Cat Academy 3 has 5 stages, all with increasing difficulty. Since the game is space-themed, instead of descending down into the depths of the sea, Momo ascends into the different layers of the atmosphere, which include the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The first stage includes some of the normal ghosts that we've seen before, but now they have a very distinctly purple tone to their faces from the star. The main boss battle for this level is the giant gold-crowned flying fox, which is one of the world's biggest bat species that is, unfortunately, also endangered. The bat in the level gets possessed in a manner that's very similar to how the aquatic creatures were possessed in Magic Cat Academy 2, with the ghost leaving its body once Momo defeats them. Bat uses Momo's broomstick as a perch before flying off into the night, and we move on to the second level. Level 2, the Stratosphere level, has some very nicely drawn backgrounds, with strands of water resembling spiderwebs and what the game describes as polar stratospheric clouds shifting with colors in the background. Momo fights some more of the normal ghosts before tackling the level's boss, which is a possessed snowflake designed to resemble a spider. This boss has a really eye-catching design, and I really like its introduction to the player as well. Moving on to the third level, the Mesosphere, Momo is faced with fighting a different kind of spirit. After getting through the initial barrage of rapid-fire attacks from the normal ghosts, a red spirit, which is an extremely rare type of lightning, shows up as the level's boss. This boss definitely isn't one of the harder ones in the series, but I really like its expressions and especially the defeating animation for it. On to the fourth level, the Thermosphere, Momo is tasked with fighting ghosts who have taken over the stars. This level is very similar to level 2 of Magic Cat Academy 2, where Momo has to fight swarms of ghosts with lower health compared to only a few at a time. After each stage of the boss's attacks, they form constellations of a crow, wolf, and what looks to be a scorpion. Finally, we get to the fifth level, the Exosphere. But before we complete it, a cutscene plays, similar to the pattern in Magic Cat Academy 2 and Magic Cat Academy 1. Marshmallow comes flying from the side of the screen and starts beating up Momo directly before she whips around and socks him in the face, which is easily one of the greatest, if not the greatest moment in Google Doodle history. Marshmallow spits out the purple star, but right when we think everything's over, it flies up and directly into the sun, which immediately transforms into an evil creature of Leviathan magnitude. Upon the realization that neither of them are built for this, Momo and Marshmallow are forced to declare a truce with each other for the moment and join together to save the planet. Finally, the two of them hop on the broomstick and the battle of the century gets underway. The final level introduces the game's first new mechanic, which is a new spell shaped like an hourglass. When Momo uses it, she appears to get briefly taken over by Marshmallow, who is then able to slow down time for a few seconds, allowing Momo to draw a lot more spells than she would be able to normally. Eventually, the spell wears off and Momo's back to drawing at normal speed. Instead of smaller ghosts, the sun shoots out miniature balls of fire that essentially act like ghosts, but with a little extra speed. Our hourglass spell replenishes every new wave, which is a massive help for defeating the very last wave of fireballs. Eventually, stage 2 of the battle begins, with Momo and Marshmallow attacking the sun directly with another mix of complicated spells and hourglass power-ups. And a few rounds later, the boss is finally defeated and the game's last cutscene begins. The star shoots out of the sun before exploding into a massive collection of candy, which rains down onto the school's rooftop, this time with all the ghosts and sugar still on the roof. Momo and Marshmallow begin the celebration again, with Marshmallow slowly warming up to the occasion and finally smiling,
such as off-site links, downloads, or real-world clues. And web series are usually based solely around deciphering clues and unraveling a story found in YouTube videos. Minecraft's early versions were incredibly different. Despite sharing many core components with their modern counterparts, present day you'll find a village within your first night of exploring all sorts of structures, new biomes, but in the beginning and during the first playthroughs of many older players, these aspects were replaced by a vapid world with a dreamlike terrain, only giving you 10 minutes to gather enough resources to survive the night that you couldn't skip. This, coupled with the addition of spooky music discs and eerie cave ambience less than a month apart, culminated in the creation of urban legends through the Minecraft forums at the tail end of July 2010. It started off as a small set of forum posts and YouTube videos playing into rumors of a set of white eyes lurking in the depths of dark caves, and over the next few months it evolved into the iconic character that is Herobrine. Not just supposed dead brother, a version of Steve with two blanked out eyes, a figure that stalks and tampers with your world, and a feature that Mojang just couldn't remove. I talked about the origin of the Herobrine myth, originally called White Eyes, in a video last August if you'd like to hear more specifics. The rise of the Herobrine myth coincided with the explosion in popularity that creepypastas as a whole had seen. Slenderman, Tails Doll, Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, etc. Adding on to it, back then the myth of a player lurking in single player worlds suited Minecraft because of its calm, quiet emptiness by default. This made Minecraft a great fit for another addition to the rising trend of creepypastas and urban legends surrounding haunted games. This is where our first web series comes in. The Brief History is a YouTube channel that was created in November 2010. There are only 3 videos and the series was never finished. Very quickly, the influence of Marble Hornet's formatting and the Herobrine mythos become crystal clear. In the introduction video, a man named Hector explains that his friend introduced him to the game Minecraft, and as a result he started watching playthroughs of Minecraft on YouTube and learning about the game's history. After making an account on the Minecraft forums, Hector received a private message from a user named Herobrine, with no avatar or signature. The message contained a link to a bootleg Minecraft download simply called Minecraft.exe. Upon opening the game, it booted straight into the game and simultaneously opened a notepad file. The text file had a jumble of text with the phrase "uncover the history" hidden within it. Hector was confused about 2 things. It didn't show him a launcher like Minecraft usually would, and the version number supposedly displayed as 0.0.0_0. Later the same day, Hector uploaded the first of 2 entries. In the video, he describes his first experiences attempting to play this strange copy of Minecraft. He's greeted by jumbled splash text, and upon starting a world, it seems that there's already been activity in the world. After a minute and a half of exploring the world and gathering wood, Hector finds a cave. Upon attempting to enter the cave, Hector's game crashes.
From Pond's, this is their UV sunscreen. Meron pang hydrate and meron ding pang brighten. What I use is this UV hydrate kasi gusto ko ng extra hydration sa aking skin. Parang wala kang nilagay pero protected ko sa sun damage. So ayan mga sis, I'm ready to go out.
Crazy night, huh?
Huh? Why am I in his bed?
Oh no, we're only a few days into 2025 and I've already got a disappointing Roblox change, or I guess you could call this an update, maybe not actually, it's kind of just like an old classic feature getting removed, which is really sad. So shout out to Lily for posting a tweet about this, because if
Okay, so this is a little bit unexpected. I genuinely didn't think I'd finish it this early, but I'm happy to announce I've released a Roblox game titled Bokyo's Dream. And essentially, it's like a horror, puzzle, escape room type of game. And yeah, I've worked really hard on this. Like, I've worked on it for around a week. And that's the reason my videos have been coming
You just had a near-death experience. That's what it feels like when you feel like you're gonna die. It's powerful, isn't it? Yeah, it is. There was about 2 seconds there after you were done being scared where it looked like you wanted to kill me. I don't take it personally. I think it was a visceral reaction, you know? There's an animal in you. Anybody need to make peace with in this world before you go?
OMG! Gusto ko nito!
Ang ganda naman. I want.
Forsaken is the newest Roblox horror game to hit the charts tab, and it's by far the most interesting one that I've seen yet. It's unique in the sense that it combines gameplay akin to that of Survive the Killer with lore and characters of the Roblox mythos. You can play as several different creepypasta adjacent characters seen throughout Roblox, and it's amazing to see how these myths have been given life by the game. This implementation gives Forsaken an edge over its competition, but it's not perfect. Far from it, in fact. While the concept of playing as a notorious hacker sending your minions to do your dirty work for you is really cool, Forsaken fumbles it in really awful but easy to fix ways, and in this video, I'm going to show you why. Lore and art-wise, Forsaken is awesome, and what are typically chalked up to references hidden within games are given life and take the form of playable characters within this one. These come in the form of both survivors and killers. The survivors must complete puzzles to advance the timer and earn coins, and the killer must kill every survivor before the time ticks down. The uniqueness comes with the fact that every survivor as well as every killer have completely unique abilities that add a lot of dynamics to the gameplay loop.
Big Games is a scam. And behind all of those cool games is an evil company that only wants money. Let's take a look at the games. This is the first game that made big games popular. Actually, Preston. Preston is the man behind all of this. By all of this, I mean the creator and the starter of big games. Now this game has no such thing as pay to win. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But, you know, it was all an actual funny game to play. People liked the game and it blew up, getting thousands of players. Preston was updating the game and everything was going good. But then he stopped updating the game. People were confused and didn't know what was happening. The question was, why did Preston stop updating the game? Also at that time, Preston was still a solo developer, but that's not why he stopped updating the game. Because on November 23rd, 2019, a game was released called Pet Simulator 2. Everyone was happy and joined in, just to be heavily disappointed. The game was trash. No one liked it. It was close to being free to play. There was only some VIP, but the VIP was also heavily overpriced, 2,700 Robux, just for barely anything. The game was mostly free to play, but the players criticized the grind-heavy gameplay, which felt like a step backward from the original. You literally need to break the coin and click 3 to 5 buttons just to pick everything up. Trust me, it is a grind-heavy gameplay. Also, the promised frequent updates didn't happen, as Preston's team was still small and the developer base couldn't match the community's demands. The game is averaging 10 to 50 players, not a lot for the 100 million visits it has. Now Preston realized the game was failing, so he made another game called Pet Simulator X. At this point, Preston made 3 games. It will just get more as we go on, but this game is different. This game is actually not that bad. It has a bit pay to win, but it was still fun to play as a free-to-play player, because I was one. I have played all of these games, and the best in my opinion is this game. I really have a lot of memories playing this game with my friends. You know, scamming my friends for fun. Oh, and if we are talking about scamming, we have to go to the next game, called Pet Simulator 99. And I don't know why, but Preston likes leaving his games a lot. Now this game still gets updated till this day, but this game is the biggest pay to win out of all, and also a scam that manipulates kids into stealing their mom's credit card to get better pets. No, like actually this game has gambling, like actually gambling for kids. Buy an egg for 400 Robux, which is $5, and have around 1% of getting a huge. When a kid actually buys it, they want to buy it again and again and again until they get a huge. Oh, but there is a Titanic that is 0.05%. To actually get it, you will need to spend around $1,000 or more. A lot for a pet in a game. The game also gets barely anything new, the same style, just different pets. You can play this game and get the best pets, but for what? Because in just a week, your pets will be trash. There will be new pets. So the game is just an infinite loop that only wants your money. I would absolutely not recommend playing this game because the game is just an infinite loop. If the game gets something new, it is copied from a different game, or it's just the same, but with different type of pets and just a bit different. The game just never ends. It is impossible to end the game because there is no end. It is infinite. You thought it would end there? No, of course, it's big games. Preston. And yes, Preston released another game. I said it, he likes making new games. But this time he didn't end Pet Simulator 99 because it still gets weekly updates. But it also wasn't a Pet Simulator game. It was an RNG game. The game was called Pets Go. RNG games are mostly popular for their boring gameplay, but like big games does, they took the idea and changed it to be pay to win. Of course, they always need to make it pay to win. This game also manipulates kids into stealing their mom's credit card to get better pets. Wait, actually, hedge better pets. Yes, hedge better pets. It's an RNG game, most boring type of game.
This game doesn't benefit free to play. It doesn't benefit pay to win. Why are we all still playing this, bro? Something needs to convince me to continue on.
From Roblox's earliest multiplayer games that would hardly reach 5 users playing at once, to current-day titans of a game platform with tens of millions of users every day, fighting games have arguably been the biggest genre on Roblox since its inception. Roblox fighting games have evolved tremendously far since, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing how Roblox fighting games have evolved. Roblox games as we know them went officially public in the spring of 2006, and while there were game publishing capabilities, these games could only be played in single player. In June, Roblox's first employee and soon-to-be creative director, Shedletsky, was hired, and soon he would create the first ever multiplayer Roblox game, a fighting game named Crossroads, in July that year. Crossroads is a fighting game based on a map split up into 4 corners where each player is given 6 weapons and the objective of fighting to survive. since the game has been used as a map for a large majority of fighting games on the platform and will continue to reappear throughout the video. For the next month or two, this would be the only Roblox game with multiplayer servers. Shortly after the release of Crossroads, an update would be released allowing the creation of multiplayer servers for user-made games. Many of the earliest user-made games meant for multiplayer servers were fighting games, such as Sunset Plane by the Roblox user Koopa, created in November of 2006, and two now lost fighting games, Thunderbirds and the Red Raiders by the user Freddy, and Rebel Wars by Maddie Green Bay. Both of these are fighting games created in October and November of 2006, very early on in Roblox's life, and only have a minimal amount of screenshots left to prove that they existed, and are still important games, as they were some of the earliest multiplayer fighting games on Roblox. It was also around this time that a Roblox user named Leave built the Doomspire structure and published it in the Roblox free models section. We'll keep this in mind for later. Another early fighting game was Mustafar by Stealth Pilot, created sometime around September 2006. This is a Star Wars themed brick battle place and was the lava map featured in the first ever Roblox trailer in November that year. Moving into 2007, we start off the year with two classic Roblox fighting games. Swordfight on the Heights was created by Shedletsky in April 2007, the same creator who had created Crossroads less than a year prior. This was the first sword fighting game on Roblox, as games like Crossroads did not include a sword weapon. The game takes place on a set of floating structures, and in later versions of the game, notably Swordfight on the Heights 4 released a few years later, variations of the sword can be found around the map with their own advantages and perks. Since both the original and fourth Swordfight on the Heights games have racked up millions of plays and still maintain active player bases to this day. In June 2007, the creation of multiplayer Capture the Flag games was promoted and encouraged by a Roblox blog post. This would lead to an increase in the output of Capture the Flag based PvP games on Roblox. Ultimate Paintball, created by the developer Mic'd in June of 2007, was a popular Capture the Flag game, where each player was assigned to one of two teams and given paintball guns. It ended up becoming the most popular Roblox game for almost 2 years, and was the first game on the platform to hit 1 million visits. By today's standards, this game is quite bare bones and fully broken now, but in 2007, the game was revolutionary. In July that year, the Roblox staff held a tournament on the game, which led to the creation of these 5 visors. Towards the end of the summer of 2007, a noticeable increase in the usage of the Doomspire model I mentioned earlier happened. A lot of these were fighting games, and this later evolved into what we now know as Doomspire Brick Battle. Many copies and variations of some sort of 4-way Doomspire battle game would pop up over the next few years, with the most popular to date being G-Fink's version released in 2017, with over 800 million visits. You were given the classic set of brick battle weapons, and the objective to knock down all of the other team's Doomspires and secure yours. Some of the earliest Roblox games with guns in them were created around this time. A lot of the gun models from around this time were modified versions of Shedletsky's paintball gun, which was made a few months prior. This is what a pistol in the game Dead Roblox Rising by Servant looked like. This was October 2007, by the way. An honorable mention for 2007 is Pirates of the Robloxian by Stealth Pilot, which was a popular Roblox fighting game surrounding pirates and blowing up the other team's ships with cannons. It garnered about 200,000 visits before being closed down sometime in the mid-2010s. Some early aerial combat-based games were also created around this time, which deserve some sort of mention, as this style of Roblox fighting game would become quite popular in the following years. In 2008, guns would get slightly better with the advent of meshes. It's still better than this though. Fast forward to March 2008 when Clockwork, a former Roblox intern, creates a game named Classic Op Map. The game gives you a sword, trowel, and a sniper rifle model that Clockwork was working on. The game is quite basic and now entirely broken, but it's quite impressive considering it was made so early on in Roblox's history. A month later in April, Konix and Clockwork teamed up to create Kiseki CTF, considered by many to be the best Roblox fighting game up until that point. Kiseki was a class-based capture the flag game with special abilities, 13 classes to choose from, and a bunch of weapons. And since Clockwork worked on the game, it had many custom meshes and custom audio files included, which regular users weren't allowed to upload at the time. As a result of this, the sounds and meshes uploaded for usage in the game were widely used by normal Roblox users. These include the fresh meat voice clip used when a player was killed with a chainsaw, the gun sounds used, which were stolen from the 2002 shooter game Soldat, and multiple gun meshes, which Roblox were used in popular free models, such as the best gun in Robloxia and dual Vulcan chain guns. These models both have tens of thousands of favorites. Despite the original game no longer functioning, the legacy of the game is quite clear, with some of its assets and influence still being shown in Roblox today. In March, a Roblox user named DrewSomeB would create what would soon become the most popular game on the platform, HeliWars. HeliWars Desert Attack was a fighting game between two military teams named the Green and Desert teams respectively. This one gives each player a multitude of weapons upon spawning, and this game was cool because it had helicopters. In 2008, helicopters were not yet invented. In the latter half of 2008, the game would start to gain traction, and by the end of 2009, it had surpassed Mike's Ultimate Paintball as Roblox's most popular game. In July 2008, what's largely considered to be the first major anime-based fighting game was created by a developer named Snake World. The game was called Naruto Land of the Ninja. While the game only has 400,000 visits, the game was quite popular in its prime, as we can see from this 2011 footage of the game, where the server is quite full. But the game is entirely broken and unplayable as of 2023. The primary weapon tool in this game doesn't work anymore, but would switch between one of 6 weapons depending on what button you pressed. Since anime fighting games have become one of the largest subgenre of Roblox games on the platform, which I'll talk about later in the video. In November 2008, fighting games surrounding pirates would come into the spotlight yet again, with the Roblox developer Wingman 8 creating the game Galleons. This is another game where you blow up the other team's ships with giant cannons. This time it's less blocky. 2009 was an important year for the Roblox fighting game genre. In June, an already notable developer named Stickmaster Luke would release Fencing, a game where you go on this black platform and fight with these cool little saber tools. Since the game has kept a small but active player base, which is mostly exploiters. Only 6 months prior, Stickmaster Luke created the Underground War, a capture the flag game where 2 teams dig underground tunnels to enter the other team's base and take their flag. The game is now broken, but when it was still open and working, it was an insanely popular game, having over 20 million visits as of 2023. Only a month after Fencing's creation, a popular fighting game named Zeppelin Battle would be published. Zeppelin Battle is an aerial-based combat game on Roblox with 2 teams, the Patrol and the Pirates. In the game, there are 2 game modes, Classic and Raid, unless you're playing the remake version, which has more. The goal of Classic mode is to sink the enemy's Zeppelin, and in Raid mode, the Pirates have to protect their Zeppelin as it goes towards the Patrol's harbor, and the Patrol team has to sink the Zeppelin. While the game's creation date says 2008, it was actually a different place until the summer of 2009, when it actually became Zeppelin Battle. In 2020, a popular recreation of the game by Roblox developer LolKiller101, alongside multiple contributors, would be created named Zeppelin Wars, with fully revamped scripting and design and more content. This new game remake has since garnered nearly 50 million visits. Base Wars is a military-style fighting game that was published to Roblox in November 2009 by Dark886. In the game, you capture points and flags from the other team in the hopes of winning. There is a wide variety of vehicles, weapons, and after almost 14 years, the game still regularly receives updates. In 2012, this game was not only nominated User's Choice Game of the Year at the Roblox Game Conference 2012, but in September that year, it became the most played game on Roblox. This was true for 2 years until it got passed up in October 2014 by a game that was created a month later named Call of Robloxia 5. Call of Robloxia 5 is a game that was created by the future creator of Phantom Forces in December 2009. The game, obvious from the title, is a Roblox version of Call of Duty. It was even named Call of Duty 5 until early 2011. The game revolves around 2 team matches where players can fight with a wide variety of weapons. There were 4 game modes: Elimination, Capture the Flag, Domination, and Team Deathmatch. Much like Base Wars, this game's popularity peaked in the mid-2010s despite being created in 2009. Since I accidentally edited these sections of the video out of order, the last game I'll talk about for 2009 is Wingman 8's Armored Patrol, which was officially released in April that year. Armored Patrol, like many other
Still feeling hesitant to share your art? Worried that your work might go unnoticed? Looking for a buddy to grow and improve together in art? Get your work featured in the latest section. It's okay if it's not perfect. Let's improve together. Artisan is a new app made for art lovers, evolving right alongside its community.
Hey guys, here are some ready-made levels, but today we're going to create something unique from scratch. We'll choose the side view camera angle and the standard art style. I love how you can combine different elements and create something unique. It's your own
Now I'm gonna put tons of mustard on you.
Kuya, start! Tao? Hindi. Bagay? Pwede. Nagagamit mo to sa Shopee? Oo. Voucher? Oo. Free shipping! Tama! Claim your free shipping discount voucher now. Download Shopee now.
What would make me fall in love? Pag binigyan ako ng Pizza Hut Holiday Hamonado Pizza!
The other day, I was going through some comments on some of my videos, and I realized that upon looking at my channel, I think a lot of people get the idea that I think old Roblox was better than modern Roblox, but that honestly couldn't be further from the truth. My channel is about appreciating the history of Roblox and the aesthetic and values that the once tightly knit Roblox community used to have. What it's not about is trying to pretend that a decades-old, barely moderated, buggy version of Roblox beats the much higher quality and technically stable version that we have now. Playing Roblox in 2008 is a nice thought in our heads, and I'm sure many of us have wished we could do that, but what you don't realize is that you get bored after about 30 minutes max. We all like dipping our toes into nostalgic classic era games.
Oh yeah? Look at your hand, it's a travesty. Lamar.